incorrect. Override denied. Your password is incorrect. Override denied. Program activated.
Hello and welcome to another Username Nerd podcast. My name is Mike Hewitt. Sorry, I've been saying Username Nerd video. My name is Mike Hewitt, and with me always, Tim Hewitt.
Tim Hewitt.
How are you doing? We're both a little tired.
Tired, man. Yeah, we were just talking about it beforehand.
Episode
but
100.
Hey, episode 100.
That's why we're so tired.
So can we before we get into episode 100 and everything else, can I tell you a few stories? Because anymore lately, the only time we really get to hang out and meet is when we're doing Username Nerd stuff. So
about once a month.
Yeah, it feels like
because we do like 3 or 4 in a night. And
yeah.
Anyways,
okay. Hey, so I told you about my new job where I'm working for Farmers Insurance taking claims, and so I constantly all day long I'm hearing I got into an accident, I got rear-ended, I rear-ended somebody else, yada yada yada. And so the other day I'm going to work, and I was actually going in semi-early because I had a training review thing. So I was going in at 8:30, so I was in the middle of traffic. And I pulled onto the highway where it's only one. I go one highway the entire way, and then I jump onto another highway for one exit, and then get off. I'm like, all right, cool. So I pull onto this highway, and it is just, I know I'm going the wrong way.
You shouldn't do that. You should 10-10. Okay, now I know.
Yeah, I know. But I pull on this highway, and I mean, it is just complete stopped all the way on the right lane to turn off, and the other traffic is just zooming by.
Oh, I know.
And I'm like, this is not good. I'm like, this is a recipe for disaster. So I pull in behind the car in front of me, and I'm like, I made sure to have enough room.
Oh, because you're stopped and
because I'm complete stop, and there's no one behind me, and the traffic is just flying to the left of me. I don't know what happened in the lane up ahead, because when I finally got up there, because it took me 30 minutes to get from one exit to the next. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Okay, so I know what you're talking about. That construction has been there for 2 years. That's how it's been.
Construction, though, because there's not construction on that exit. But
I-35 and 435?
On I-35 and 119th, that one exit. So that's what I'm saying. I'm going to... Anyway.
Sorry.
I was trying not to bog people down with the numbers, but it's all good. So I'm sitting there in the car, and I'm like, this is a recipe for disaster. Some guy pulls in behind me, and he gets really close to me, and I'm like, oh, great. Luckily, I left enough room in front of me so I could dodge out.
Yeah.
And literally, I see him pull in, I look forward, and I look in my mirror, and this car is in, like, the middle lane. This is 5-lane highway. He's in the middle lane, and he just, all of a sudden, he's like, all of a sudden, he's sideways. I don't know. There wasn't anybody in front of him, nothing. He's didn't have to stop. All of a sudden, he's just sideways, and I'm like, oh, crap, oh, crap, oh, crap. And he's fishtailing, hits the car behind me. If I hadn't left enough room to jump out and go into the medium or whatever, I would have gotten into an accident. I was like, but because of this new job, I recognize the signs. Really,
it's crazy.
It's really, like, affecting, like, I look at where I park now.
Yeah.
I mean, my car's nothing special, but I don't want...
Right.
You know, like a tree branch to fall in it, or it's made me very cynical and like more paranoid than I ever have been. I know there was one night where I came outside of my room there and I heard this weird noise from the fridge, and instantly I was like, "Oh, our fridge is leaking. That's water damage. I've had claims from this. You know what I mean? Like I know what this means." And I actually had to come out later on the night just to check to make sure there wasn't water underneath our fridge.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, 100th episode.
100th episode. That's a good start.
This is insurance talk.
I felt pretty cool. I dodged a wreck.
That is very cool.
It was very Matrix of me. You know what I mean?
Very Matrix of you.
Yeah, whatever. What have you been up to?
Nothing much. Making props.
Yeah.
I started. I made the skeleton key from Goonies. Yeah, and I'm starting to make Ray's gun from Star Wars. It's been fun.
It is
and
pretty cool. Like
interesting.
he's actually doing casts and stuff. And
yeah,
he's got
and then like molding hard plastic, everything else. I know everyone uses the foam and stuff like that, but man,
I didn't know everyone.
doing something with hard plastic is like cool. Like I can make anything. I can make anything. Which I thought you had to have a factory and like melt plastic and a big gigantic. I don't know. I didn't know what I thought. But I'm not melting plastic. It's just pouring two things together and it's a chemical reaction. Which I just
like
find
I feel you on that
fascinating.
one because it's like I have no idea.
Yeah, I had no idea until I like
something like that.
found some stuff and I'm like, okay, this is cool. But and then also doing some videos. A couple things. Smallville, we lost the audio on Smallville, so all the interviews we had. So I want to apologize to Smallville Comic-Con. It was a lot of fun, and I'm really bummed out. And actually, I sent that card off to a specialist to see if they could get it off, like a clean room, and they couldn't even do it. Actually, they could, but it was something around like $500, $600, $700, $800. I'm like,
man, this is a free
that was
podcast.
not,
That's not
yeah, I know. I was gonna if it was like $40 to $50, that's enough because it took us 3 hours down there, 3 hours back. I don't think I've told Chuck, so he's not gonna be.
That's gonna be fun.
But I've already contacted a lot of the people that we interviewed, except for Helen Slater, which we'll never see Helen Slater again. She's in Smallville and the new Supergirl, and she's big time. So,
little time.
I do have audio off the mic, so I don't know if I'll do that. But
well, maybe you could put together like that clip cutaway.
That was just for me too, because I'm a super fanboy of hers. Other than that, we're gonna contact I've already contacted all of them. I got a lot of Loot Crate.
Getting a lot of Loot Crate.
You know,
useless crap here on the table.
Well, if they one day sponsor us, I'll be
totally.
Yes,
they're the best if they sponsor us. But until
they're
then,
never going to sponsor us now.
No. Yeah. I mean, there is some cool stuff. Look,
there
the
is
hat,
some stuff cool.
The shirts were awesome.
I'm very impressed with the yes.
But but some of this stuff.
Call us Loot Crate. Call us Loot Crate.
So basically,
and doing some videos. We're doing some. Comic summary videos, which I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I don't know if people like them or not. To me, it takes about 20 to 25 minutes to read a comic, a good size comic, because I really want to look at the pictures and study it and everything else. But then, also, I mean, if I'm flying through it, it takes 20 minutes. But what we're trying to do is make these really short, so you could go through a couple of years. No, you're fine. You can go through a couple of years and catch up on X-Men or something like that, and just kind of get the gist.
And it's also good for people like me who don't like to read,
exactly,
but still like the pictures.
Exactly. So you're just getting the premise down. And the new X-Men, I'm going back to square one, X-Men 1963, the very beginning, and I think they're going to be like 3 minutes. So you can catch up 3 or 4 years in an hour. Yeah. So and get every little detail, all the important details, and cut out all the 1960s hijinks.
All the Scott. Scott Summers.
It's not really Scott. Scott. It's Iceman a lot.
I heard that. Scott Cyclops to his friends is actually like really a BA in the comics. He really takes charge, and he's like actually pretty. From
the very beginning, he's one of my favorite characters out of all of them. Now I know how some of them. I've read the first 14, so and that's just in a 2-year span because they did it every other month.
Yeah,
so much happens then.
Yeah.
I mean, Cynodal program started. Trask is there. Meteor M.
I don't know what that is.
Meteor M is where Magneto is. His base is on a
meteor?
On a meteor
in space.
In space, yes.
That's awesome.
And like the Evil Brotherhood of Mutants is started, and episode 4. I mean, it's really interesting to see.
So how much do you think they've rehashed, like, or rebooted in the series? Because I've heard of all those things, but I have never.
It just fascinates me that they started that early. Yeah. Like, I would have just assumed some of those stuff would have happened. Like, a Meteor M would have happened, like, in the 80s, not the 60s. Like,
if
for
you
year
look
one.
at, like, Batman, the beginning of Batman, where he's, like, fighting regular thugs. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's not like he has super villains right away. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It takes them a long time.
So you feel like they would build into it more.
But, man, they
jumped right into the crazy stuff.
I mean, that's why Stan Lee is as good as he is. Okay, so let's talk about 100th episode. We're
all right.
9 minutes in.
All right. So what I was supposed to do was go through and listen to all 99 of our episodes and pick out the highlights.
It's just it fascinates me. First of all, never go listen to episode 1.
Oh my gosh, no,
it's
awful.
so bad.
So, speaking of episode 1, do you remember we talked about it off air over here, but do you remember the original name for the podcast?
The original name was like Jedis, Dragons, and everything in between, or something
right.
along that line.
I think that's exactly what it was, which is just an awful piece of street trash.
Name.
That name, it's just awful.
And I remember we didn't have episode 1 up for a very long time. We started with episode 2 and just kept going. And then you just came up with username nerd. We were like
we were
brainstorming
sitting around in your
forever.
office, your old office, and we were listening to. You were listening to sound bites to try and piece together the theme song, if I remember correctly. And we had like username, and I was like, username. I was like, how about username geek? And we were like, no, username geek.
That's right.
Sounds stupid. And then I was like, username nerd, and both of us instantly were just like,
oh, I think it was the geeky nerd the geeky nerd. And then the subtitle was Dragons, Jedis, and everything.
The Geeky Nerd was the name of our... Really?
Because that song, that intro song, I came up with from scratch, and I actually labeled it the Geeky Nerd because I see it every once in a while as the Geeky Nerd.
That's weird.
The Geeky Nerd. That's
I do not
horrible.
remember that.
That's horrible.
But yeah, so what I was supposed to do was go through and listen to all 99 episodes and pick out
But
the
it's
good
fine.
parts. But what we're going to do instead is
we're just
going
flipping
to
through.
flip through here.
It's fascinating. Some of the first 20 are the ones I remember the most.
And it feels like we talked about zombies very heavily, and then we just stopped talking about zombies like forever.
Well, episode 5 and episode 6. And if you listen to the
episode
podcast...
2, zombies everywhere.
Oh, that's right. That's the first thing. And then episode 5 and episode 6, we never actually say, hey, this is episode 7. We've never done. So I think,
That kind of, do you think we should have?
Nah.
Said episode? Well, we did this time.
We
episode
did this time.
100.
But that's different.
I do like also, we had episode 4. This is in 2012.
Golly.
We went over the future of radio, and we talked about Pandora. We talked about streaming music services, which in 2012, that was like pretty new. I mean, honestly, I know in 2012, I don't think I had unlimited data on my phone. So it was kind of like, well, I only really listen to it at home. But, you know, now I can't imagine life
to work,
without.
But see, I don't have unlimited data, so it sucks.
Yeah.
And then also, I think on that one, we got a little off topic and we started talking about Stargate because that was the end of Stargate Universe.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh, I love that show. Everybody hates it.
Universe?
Everybody hates it.
Really?
It's ridiculous. It drives me nuts.
What do you mean everybody
you
talk to hate it?
Everybody that I've ever talked to about Stargate is like, nah, man, Stargate SG-1, that was the best. I'm like, do you remember
I like all of them, but
the
man,
foam
Universe
heads
was good.
and everything like that? I was like, Universe was the best. They're like, no, it was too dark. I was like, that's the beauty of it. It was gritty. It was real.
And then we had, from a crow's point of view, that was when Missy came on, my wife. History of Gaming.
History of Gaming was good. I remember we went over all of our old favorite Nintendo games. Hey, speaking of that, did you see the new Nintendo console coming out?
No.
It's like those little arcade things
already
you
a
buy?
new one coming out?
No, hang on. It's retro. So you know those like arcade arcade joystick things you can buy, and it has like so many games programmed on it. There's now a little mini Nintendo thing.
The interns at work were talking about
but
that.
it only has like 30 games on it, and you can't download more or put in cartridges or anything like that. It's like
the Wii has all that stuff on
That's what I said. I was like, it's $60 to buy this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I could probably get a Wii for $60.
Yeah.
Somewhere. And I would be able to play any of those games.
Oh, yeah.
And be able to download more.
Yeah.
But it had some pretty good titles on there. Whatever. I don't know.
Then we started talking a lot about D&D. That was another one because we were deep into D&D at that time. And we had a group and everything else, and that's when we had Larry and Polly.
Cloaks, Funny Voices, and Basements. That must have been a D&D one as well.
That was a D&D one as well.
We haven't gotten to our Minecraft phase yet, but it's coming up.
And then we get to, I think in the history of gaming, that's when I talked about Minecraft and talked to you a little bit
and
about
I was like, nah, that sounds stupid. I would
Yes.
never like a game like that.
Then we get into our Doctor Who phase, about episode 13. We are just
Do you
people.
hear the
We are
drums?
just.
What about-
We just skip to one
Dude,
fad
we
to the
did.
next.
Well, in the beginning there, too,
Oh, yeah.
it was kind of like, hey, we had so many topics we wanted to get in there. So I don't think it was like one topic to the
No,
next.
I know.
I think we had been in love with all those things for so long.
yeah.
I do like, I want to go back. So ships, and more ships.
Yes.
That was probably one of my favorite episodes. And that was Polly and Larry was on there, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
And we went through like, who would win, this Imperial Star Destroyer? Or
Yes.
that was a great episode.
And
I
it got
loved
to
that.
be talking a lot about Halo.
Yeah, which you didn't
And
know too much about. Which
Not-
is
well,
fine.
I mean, I know a lot about. No, I say I know a lot about Halo. I've played all the games.
yeah,
but
to
I
where
don't know
see, I've read all the
every
literature and
yes,
stuff like that. So
to
it's kinda
know
like,
the actual guns on this, on the
the Mac
F
guns.
side
It's just the
of
Mac.
the,
I wasn't that bad. Yeah, well.
And then we have up, down, down, left, right. That was another. But we talked about Skyrim because there was a time where you disappeared for a month,
Yeah,
kind of like you do
play
now.
Skyrim.
But
It's fun.
and then
And then-
Arkham City, BioShock.
One of my other favorite. 2012 was a very predictive year for us because in 2012 we have Why Isn't There an Ant-Man?
I know,
movie?
I know. Isn't that fascinating?
Man.
We went through every superhero movie. I remember where we were at. We were something is we couldn't go where we normally recorded, and we actually recorded that at Mom's house in her kitchen.
Really, I don't ever remember recording over there.
Yeah, and
Wow.
if I remember right, I'm not gonna call you out, but you were very tired that night.
Yeah, that sounds.
And I think it was the
right.
second episode because we talked about some
Yeah.
games, and then we talked about movies, and you're like, okay, just what's the next
Sure.
movie? What's the next
Hey,
movie?
Yeah. And then.
But
episode
next one,
17.
17.
Namaste.
That was a great.
That
one.
was that
And I'm
was
shocked that's only one episode.
me too because that was like after it came out on Netflix and I was like, oh, I gotta watch this again. Do you remember the first time around watching?
Oh, yeah.
Lost?
Watched it. I watched it every single time.
You were religious with
it
it.
was.
I didn't come in till like halfway through the show.
The fascinating part was it seemed so long, but then when the second and third time I watched it, I'm like,
You're like,
man,
this was fast.
I watched this like
That's
2 or
'cause
3.
you're
Yeah,
binge
yeah.
watching.
Binge
versus-
watching it. It's so much better binge watching it. It's a much better show binge watching than anything else. But that is such. I love. Yeah, that is one of my all-time favorites. Episode 17 at Namaste.
Yeah. Whatever you do, don't take off the DM. Was that with Mikey and James, right? Because we were talking. No, we
No,
just
it had to
mentioned the
be.
fact that James. We thought it was James at the time, but actually it was one of our other stepbrothers, Billy, who I guess when he would DM,
yeah.
he would just
Yeah,
just tear the players apart.
but
like-
no, we did. Everybody was like that.
Yeah, true.
Didn't tick off Larry because Larry,
True, true,
just
true.
doesn't matter.
Uh,
Apps or not to app.
Yeah, we haven't ever done
Did you ever
another
like
app
these?
review
Did you
show-
ever like these
app
nice?
review show? What now?
These did you like these names? The names of these
I
shows?
remember.
Because I think
remember,
I
yeah,
did them all.
They're all very clever. I always remember thinking. I know, like Namaste. I had some input in. I was like, man, we should say
Okay, yeah.
Namaste. But honestly, I kind of let you go with it, and you did really well.
And honestly,
with
these
like
didn't.
clever.
Like
kind of-
I'm like, I got to put this up, and then I got 2 seconds to come up with something. I just come up with something really quick.
So there wasn't much
And
thought.
Not
But
much
hey,
thought, but it turned out pretty
on
well.
the fly. Apparently, it seems to work. To app or not to app.
And
Who shot
see,
first?
this is episode 21. We talk about the people versus George Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
That felt like we've been doing it for years, but to be on episode 21 because I feel like we were in our groove by then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely in our groove. And then Attack of the Username Nerd, we continue it up. That
We
was
love
the
you.
beginning of, hey, let's do 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Love it.
Double-sided.
Yep. And then
A
this
side and B side.
this next one.
We love you, Jobs.
We love you, Steve Jobs.
Was that right after he had passed?
right after he passed?
Yeah. Wow, it's already been that long. It's 2012.
Yeah, I know.
Man, this is an awful podcast because all we're doing is just reminiscing. Happy 100, everybody!
I
You
know,
gotta
right?
love it.
Woohoo!
Ooh,
And then we talk about networking,
chickens.
which is that's my gosh, Facebook, MySpace, Google Plus, Twitter, and much more. That's
Friendster.
fascinating. Friendster.
Yeah, who cares about that? The next one. The next one's the best one, where we were trying to come up with an idea for
This is another one of
a
my
show,
favorites.
and I was like, well, what if we just did what if scenarios? So what if zombies attack? And we said, well, we've done a lot of zombie stuff in the past, so let's not do that one. But I said, what if? I think the thing that sold you was like, what if aliens just showed up on Earth, and they didn't communicate to us, they didn't attack or anything, they just sat there.
So I remember you were like giving me ideas, and I said, okay, well, what if there was no chickens? What if all the chickens died?
And I was like, okay.
No,
What?
I mean we eat
I mean,
so
who
much
cares?
chicken. I love chicken so much.
I know, but the way you
chicken
phrased it,
sandwiches, chicken nuggets, chicken strip. Chick-fil-A would be out of business.
yeah, you're very true. That's very true.
It would just
If there were no chickens,
KFC,
Chick-fil-A
Church's freaking
would be out of
chicken would
business.
be gone.
I mean, I agree, but I'm
Chicken noodle
presenting-
soup.
Okay, hang on.
Hold
So
on, hold on.
I'm presenting all these world-changing scenarios.
That
and the
is
fact-
a world changing. I still hold my ground on this.
I mean, yeah, I agree. It would suck, but the way you phrased it, because you were like, "What if there was no chicken?"
What if there's no chickens?
And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "That would be awful."
it would
I was
be
like,
horrible.
"True."
It would
true.
be horrible.
I mean, yeah, it would be pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie, I do enjoy me some
My
chicken.
lo mein, my favorite lo mein is chicken lo mein. Honey mustard. No one even eat honey mustard anymore because that's
That's not true.
What do you
can
eat?
have
You don't
pork
eat
nuggets instead
pork
of chicken
nugget.
nuggets.
Oh man, I
mean,
just
I'm not
threw
saying
up a
it'd be
little bit of
good.
my mouth.
I'm not saying it'd be good, but you know,
We'd all have high cholesterol and die because we're just eating red meat
yeah,
constantly.
That's true. Wow, we have progressed. What was that one? I do not remember. But then all of a sudden,
We
episode
talk about
29.
Minecraft a little bit, but Wow We Have Progressed was Mad Men because
Oh,
we had
that's
talked about
right.
how holy cow,
Gosh,
the
that
60s
show
were
was such
horrible.
a
eye-opening. Yeah, kiss
You're
your
right, I do
social
remember
life.
that now.
Yeah, kiss your social life goodbye,
'Cause
Minecraft.
here comes Minecraft. Where are
Okay,
all the
so-
diamonds?
so
and then
let's
the
see.
next year,
26 is Minecraft.
next year is pretty much Minecraft.
27, we talk a little bit about Minecraft.
Mhm,
Oh
mhm.
my gosh, 28, it's an 8-bit world. We talk about Code
Minecraft?
Monkeys.
No, that's right. That's right. Oh, man, I forgot about that show too.
Code Monkeys is
Code
so
Monkey
good.
like Fritos.
You know what? I'm going to have to watch that
I
again.
know. Now that
Golly.
you say it, I'm like,
29. So we're up to
Where are
4
all the
episodes on
Mhm.
Minecraft, and 30, My House is on Fire.
that's 5.
That's yes. And
And
then I remember 31 where you're like, we can't
Can't talk
talk about
Which,
Minecraft.
The sad part
anymore.
is we wanted to. At
Yeah, I
that
know.
point, I still wanted to
I
talk
know,
about
I know.
Minecraft, but we were actually getting
4 years later, we're still playing Minecraft.
listeners that were like, "You need to stop
Stop
talking about Minecraft." I'm
talking
like,
about Minecraft.
Oh man!
We talk about superheroes,
And then right back to Minecraft.
and then back
Just
to
one
Minecraft.
more block. Right back into Minecraft, and then we were like, "No, really, we can't talk about Minecraft anymore."
33. My card is better than yours. We talk about Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
I do because we told the story about us going into the
I
comic
think
book shop.
was Mikey in that? Because
Because
he was a big Magic. So so we played Magic the Gathering a lot, right? We would we didn't play it a lot, but we would get really into it for like a week, and then hate each other, and then I would put my cards away, and then about 6 months to a year later, we'd play again for about a week, and so then I'm like, you know what? It's just Tim. We fight about the cards. Then I
Maybe
play
I'll try this
Mikey.
with somebody
I
else.
play Mikey, and we sit.
I do
and
remember that because I was
we
like,
play,
I'm not involved.
and the game just stopped. And I remember it was like we got on with Wizards of the Coast for rules.
Because you guys were arguing about the rules.
One
And I was
game. We
like,
couldn't even get through
I knew
one
it.
game.
I was like, called
We
it.
couldn't get through one game.
Oh,
and then
man.
Who's Alive?
What was that one? Let's see.
Who's Alive
we
is
talked about
We're
the upcoming
Alive.
season of. Oh, that's right.
Mikey had brought us and
Oh
told
my
us all
God.
about We're Alive, and that's when stuff
Dude, that show
was so good.
so good. It made me cry.
So, oh my
Laugh.
gosh, yes.
Like,
There were times when
man.
I've even forgotten the characters, but the guy from the very beginning, I remember.
Yeah.
He's
Saul. I want to say Saul. But
yeah,
that's not it.
Saul.
Saul is the rapper guy.
Is it not the rapper
Thug
guy?
Life guy.
I think that was him.
Saul.
I don't know. He had a girlfriend.
Yeah,
and
Lizzie.
he has the dog. He was like, I
Yeah.
got to go back for my
That's
girl.
Saul and Lizzie. And
Yes.
and like he would call her Blondie, and she hated it at first. And then when she
Yes.
got kidnapped and they're reunited, he's like Blondie, and she's like Saul.
So
And I just cry and tears.
I
I'm
know.
almost tearing up now just thinking
I know.
about it.
In
Oh
the
my
car,
gosh.
I remember in the car being like, there's gunfire and running and
Oh,
crying
man.
and just so much drama. And I remember turning. I was in traffic. I turned with tears rolling down my eyes. And there's a guy looking at me like, what is happening?
Wrong with that guy?
He probably heard the like guns going off and tanks and everything else, because I had a full blast. But I at my last job, I told some people about it, and one guy went through it in a whole week, and he was like, "That's the best freaking thing I've ever." Yeah. Oh my
You
gosh.
know, Dave was turning me on to some other ones, and I know you got into some other like radio drama stuff.
There was
too
some other ones that were
afterwards.
really crazy, like yeah, there was the Leviathan Project, or
yeah.
something like that. Now here's the next one, which
it's
I was almost pissed about.
because
but I'm
it
fine
was
now.
that far ago, 2012.
2012, Kansas City, here I come, where we talk
Man.
about Google Fiber, and I
Um,
literally can drive 15 minutes to downtown.
And literally, it's 2016. Still don't have Google Fiber.
4 years later, is that really true? 4 years later, I just got the email this week. It's coming to Raymore. It's not coming to Belton, by the way.
Not coming to Belton. I know. You have no idea how upset I am. Because our internet sucks.
You know what's funny? Our internet sucks drastically. And I keep, because I have to upload videos. I just uploaded an hour video, and it takes me
About 3 years.
3 to 4 hours because of
Oh,
the
wow.
compression rate or something else. I got the email this week. And I keep track of the numbers. A tenth of the speed. AT&T immediately speeded up. Like,
really?
like they immediately
They're like,
knew.
hey, we can do
There's
that too.
competition, and so they all of a sudden, our internet works great.
Wow, how crappy is that of them?
I know, right?
Or what if
That's horrible.
Or what if maybe since Google Fiber is just sweeping through Kansas City, maybe they're losing those other customers, so it's increasing the bandwidth in the places where they don't have it yet.
Within a week? No.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
agree.
way.
That doesn't make sense.
There's no way. It's so funny because I just hit the upload button, and I looked over, and I'm like, okay, that's going to be about 40 minutes. And I turn back, and it's like 1 minute, done. I was like, wow, that is
Man,
drastically.
How crappy
I
is
know.
that? Come on, AT&T.
Who's my favorite brother? I
Yeah,
have
which
no
hang
idea.
on. Let's just let's read the description. This episode
Well, at the beginning,
Is
I
with
was
our brother,
really
Mikey.
descriptive of the description. Now I'm
and now
not.
it's just like this episode is with our brother Mikey. Also, this episode is very ADD, but we cover some great topics. I would have no clue what that's going to be.
No clue, but it's a bundle of fun.
It does. Apparently, it is a bundle of fun. We're all screwed.
Another We're Alive.
Hey, okay. we talked about the
Because
zombie podcast.
because
That's right.
we had talked about The Walking
Fat
Dead
zombies.
and how we can live in The Walking Dead, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But We're Alive. There's no way.
Or
Smart zombies, fast. I mean, they're talking like sprinting, and they can jump like 4 stories.
Not only that, yeah. There's
and
like
behemoths.
those
and,
huge zombies that have like skin with trunk skin, like armor skin.
yeah, that they were trying to shoot, and it had
I would just be
armors.
dead. I'd be
The
dead.
other ones, what do you remember when the little
The
ones?
little ones.
And see, the thing is,
The little
it played with your
ones.
mind because you had no idea what they look like. And I'm like, the
You always
behemoths,
pictured
and
the
I'm like,
worst.
are they a human, or did the like zombie go into like an elephant?
That's what I thought too. I was like,
Did it
I
hit a
picture
zoo?
like a troll.
Right.
So I'm like, how does that even happen? But what they said, it was like huge cancerous growths and like tumors, and then sort of like a trunk, like a tree trunk sort of skin.
Right. I know.
Which
but then the little ones came out with numbers on them.
Oh, that's great.
Golly,
That
that
was such a
show is
good show.
amazing.
Ah man.
Um,
Okay. Anyway.
and then we talk about Mike, and then we talk about it again. And Mikey said that he's not coming for us if there's a zombie. He's like, you're on your own.
I don't blame
Meet
him.
me up somewhere.
I don't blame him. Please, we need a new console, which that was 2012 as well.
When did the new
And
ones come out?
I think it's 2014.
Very pathetic. Very pathetic.
I told you 2012 was a good year for us.
Well,
We were
there's some
predicting
years we
stuff
skipped
all over.
completely. I think there's a couple
Well,
years.
you know, it was a good start.
Yeah,
It was a steady start. Man, if you like zombies, okay, so maybe we did. No, we get all caught up when we were live.
Then
So really, we only touched on zombies again when we were talking about We Were Live, and
Right.
that's pretty much it. We really cut off on zombies.
we really cut off on Walking Dead.
Yeah.
It's at the very
Yeah.
beginning. Then Who Lets a Kid Run the Kingdom? This is when we talk about
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
That was like
to
season
this
3,
day,
I
this
think.
is our biggest podcast.
No, really?
Yes, that podcast got hit 10,000 times.
10,000
10,000 downloads. Now, our other
We'll
episodes
never
are
peak
not
like
like
that
that.
again.
Nope. That
should have
is
quit while we were in.
that is amazing because right there shows. Also, at this time, I know it was 4 years ago. There's less podcasts.
True. But I think anybody who searched for Game of Thrones stuff
Yes.
would come across that.
What I'm saying is that's why that is. If you just look at how important and how huge Game of Thrones is, if our little rinky-dink podcast gets 10,000,
Who knows what?
that is nuts.
That's crazy.
That's how big that show is. If you like zombies,
That's the tail end of Walking Dead. That's where we capped it up, right? Yeah.
I think so. What do you want for Christmas? These are one of our favorite ones where we talk about gadgets and stuff along those lines.
Yeah, it was all right. Wow, what do you want for Christmas was only 27 minutes. And then the very next one,
And then
an
the
hour and
second
5 minutes.
an hour and 5
What were we
minutes.
doing?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Let's see. Endless world at your fingertips. That must be Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Yeah,
of
there we
course
go.
it
We're back
is.
into Minecraft.
Of course it is.
Only a matter of time.
Come
Come
on,
on,
not
not
again.
Let me guess. I'm trying to figure out the problem.
Oh no,
Oh,
this
that's
is
when
when
the
the
board was
board's
starting
starting to have
I
problems.
thought it was going to be Minecraft again.
Then we hit Napalm in the Morning, which is actually season 2 of Game of Thrones, which is crazy. That ship battle, I remember talking about that. Then this is really cool. The Revenge
Once
of
again,
Lucas.
2012.
Well, it's
We
not
didn't
really
really predict it,
prophetic.
It was a good
that
year for
was
us,
when
though.
Disney actually purchased, and we found out there are more movies on the way.
And then it took them
3 years.
to put out one movie.
Yep.
And now it's only taken them less than a year to put out Rogue One, which is the next movie.
Yeah. And that's really started that whole
Are you
thing.
excited for Rogue One?
I am, very much so. I am a little worried because they went to rewrites, thinking it was too dark, and I don't like that. I wish
want dark.
I want dark. The regular Star Wars movies, no, but go ahead and throw a dark
Yeah,
one
if you're
in
gonna
there.
throw in like a
Why
side
not?
project, right? Yeah.
I think
I think Batman vs Superman ruined that for everybody.
I think that's it did. It messed up because they started rewriting Suicide Squad and blah blah blah, and yeah.
And
What?
you know what I just realized is the two main topics we got on here: Minecraft, Clash of Clans.
Well,
It should have been the Mine
Clash of
Clan
Clans.
episode
Yeah.
or something like that. Like, my goodness.
Well, I mean, a tenth of the episodes, and we're not talking about them anymore. Really, in the last 40
Agreed.
episodes, we didn't talk. There was a good year that
Agreed. But yeah, we went into Clash of Clans
Man,
a lot.
Clash of
buddy.
Clans, and I
Do you
kept
play it
playing
all
it
anymore?
the last 3 months. I stopped 3 months ago.
I haven't logged in forever.
I haven't logged in 3 months. Sadness.
No desire to.
Sadness. Tim wants to eat nuggets.
Yeah, what is that?
We talk about Batman Rises. No idea.
What? How did you name that?
We talk about, you say something like, I like nuggets, or something along those lines, or something, I don't know.
Okay, sure.
You
Crack
have
a
to
book.
listen to it. It's funny. That title is funny if you listen to it.
If you listen to the podcast, you
I
gotta
don't
go back.
remember, but I
gotta
know
go
it's
back.
funny. But this is when the descriptions are getting what?
Nothing. Go ahead.
This is when the descriptions get really like.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's 3 a.m.
we talk about
You're
Batman.
uploading.
We talk about Batman Rises. Because before I was like, yeah, we talk about this and this and this and blah 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 and yeah.
I don't know if videos of the week are still up on our on our website.
Very
But
rarely.
it's the same thing with the descriptions. In the beginning, it's like, hey, this is a really cool video that I found on such and such channel, and you should go check out their channel. In
Now
this
it's like,
video, they do
watch
da, da, da,
this.
da, da. And then towards the end, it was just like,
Monkeys.
like not even.
It's just a video of monkeys.
And now we don't even do it at all. Well, but that
Just
was
the
kind of like
monkeys
there's
throwing
no
their poo.
point. Well,
I know.
Who doesn't want to watch a video of monkeys throwing
Oh
their
my
poo?
gosh. Crack a book.
Crack a book.
I
That's
actually
with
like
David
this
and
one.
Samantha.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That one was good, and then we finish it up with a girl's point of view too. I remember that.
I'm actually
Suck it, Richard.
Oh, I'm actually going to see Brian Regan with David.
Oh, really?
And Samantha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Samantha's coming into town.
I didn't know he was still around.
Yeah, man. He put out a new. I think he put out a new book recently, but he's still doing stand-up circuit, and this is
Still
in,
dumb as a box rock.
couple months from now, actually.
Gotcha.
So I'm
Cool.
like,
Cool.
"Wow,
That's
man,
cool.
I'm
Cool.
excited.
Why did Oh, just going with David then.
Yeah. So, and then my favorite episode.
Suck it, Richard.
Suck it, Richie. Suck it, Richard.
So we decided to have Richie on. That was a
Who-
mistake.
Who had never even listened to the podcast, let alone did he even know what a podcast was. He was like, so who's going to listen to this?
And he's kind of a jerk.
I don't know.
And I love the description of that. We talk
Suck
about
it.
everything and nothing.
And nothing at the same time. And I remember that one specifically because we were in your old house, in which case
I
we
thought
were
we were down
recording
here.
on the
Were we
kitchen
not down
table.
here?
No. We were recording on the
Oh,
kitchen
that's
table.
right.
And your kids were just like going crazy, and Missy
That's
was
right.
doing dishes, and like the TV was on. Becky was over there. Just everything that could possibly go wrong in the background was just
Yes.
going wrong. And I was like, guys, are we really gonna do this? And you were just like, I don't care. You were so pissed off at Richie at that point. Because Richie and I were kind of like
Oh my
picking
gosh.
on you anyway. You're
Yes.
like, I don't care.
I don't care.
I'm done with
I'm
this.
done.
I'm selling
I'm done.
the board. I'm
Level
done."
53. I mean,
like,
episode
oh my
53. I'm
gosh.
done. That's kind of why I called it "Suck It, Richie."
Yeah.
And then the next one, everyone
We
loves
just
Star Wars,
talk.
and
In
we
the description, we just talk.
just talk.
You're not even trying to describe the podcast anymore. You're like, we talked with Richie. I don't even care. We just talk. That's what a podcast is. You don't know what it is.
Okay,
by
listen
now?
to this.
Get out.
Episode 9. In this episode, we have Larry Davis back, and we also talk with a new guest, Chris Polly. We
Oh,
explore
man.
the world of Dungeons and Dragons we don't dress up in weird voices, and it just keeps going.
Like, that's a very inventive description.
If you are new to the game and just interested in
Still
how to
going.
play, this is the podcast for
This
you.
is the podcast for you. We
We
just
just-
talk.
We just
We talk about nothing and everything. We just
Everyone loves Star Wars.
talk.
Oh my gosh.
And then see ya G4.
Oh my
Man,
gosh.
do you remember G4? I'm so sad to see that channel go. But at the same time, I was so happy because towards the end, it was
Yes.
just Ultimate Ninja and Cops reruns. And I was like, okay, we're not really accomplishing anything
And
here.
I really loved Attack of the Show at one point.
Until
Olivia Munn.
no, I like Olivia Munn, but until Olivia Munn came on because she was not a nerd girl.
It got dumb.
yeah.
I mean, it
No,
was.
you know
I
what it
felt
was?
like it was intelligent comedy a little bit, and then it just
all
got
of a sudden
dumb.
it became like, hey, let your 13-year-olds watch this show.
Exactly. I felt like they were pandering to small, younger,
Yeah.
teenage. Wow. Oh,
Wood
wood
for
for
your
your sheep.
We
talk
haven't-
board games.
Man, we have not played that
It's
game.
not like we talk about board games. It's we talk board games.
We talk board games. It's better than we just talk. So
Well,
at
the
least
next
there's
one-
a slight
the next
description.
one's better. It
Tim
just
is really trying.
Tim is really trying. It just
Android.
says. It's just one.
It just
word.
says Android. Not even like we talk about Android. Android is a topic on this
I didn't
podcast.
even-
You might like
I didn't even know I was
Android.
doing this.
Android.
Android.
That's it. That's all. And also, this was one, where at least this is probably my favorite title because at this point I was still like actively bringing notes and really
Yeah.
trying to put together. Because let's be honest,
And
you
I was
funded
and I was
everything.
gone.
Like you funded everything, man. You're the you're the heart and soul and backbone behind this podcast. I was like trying to contribute as much as I could at that point because I'm like, yeah, like Mike bought everything. Least I can do is bring notes. But at that point, you were just like, suck it, Richie, Android. Like, who cares?
The board was breaking on us.
Oh my gosh.
The thing is this. It's very interesting. You know what I love? This episode 100 has given me something, though. To look back at this, we would have never remembered any of this if we hadn't had this recorded. And it's a good way to look back and
That's
laugh.
very true.
Just Android is the funniest thing I've ever seen. I wasn't even trying. But going back, there are times where both of us are really into it.
Yeah.
There are times where sometimes I'm not into it as much.
And then there are
And
times when
sometimes you're not
I'm
into it so
And
much.
then there are also times when sometimes you, like, there's a gas leak and you're just like loopy.
Like Daredevil?
Well, it was nuts.
Yes. I'm not going to lie, Daredevil. And then we have Spider-Man
Spider-Man
shoots
Shoots
webs
webs
from his butt.
We talk news.
news.
And this was like right before our first hiatus. When we were like, oh, yeah, this
That's
is good.
right.
And then we were like, oh, crap, it's been 4 weeks and we still haven't recorded. And then all of a sudden it's been like 3 months and we haven't recorded. And then we're like, oh, crap. Like, we'll get back to it one day. When was this?
And
So that was March 2013.
I know why. March 2013, the one right after this, we
was
had
when it deleted.
everybody, and we did the Planet Comic-Con
That's
one,
right.
and and I was just done.
Yeah, because that old crappy board.
That was such, and that's when we just got. No, it was a really good board. I sold it to
some
someone
guy.
really.
Some guy who will
Never
never
listen
listen to
to
this
this
podcast, so
podcast.
it doesn't matter.
Never ever listen.
That board was a piece of trash. Anyway.
The amazing part is, a year and a half later,
Wow, was it a year and a half?
we go from March of 2013, which is spring of 2013, to
October.
fall of 2014,
Wow.
which is when we were in this house.
Wow.
We moved houses.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because at that point, we were recording in that other
Because I was
room.
doing a lot. Well,
Yeah.
that last
No,
house took
yeah.
a lot to redo, and then moving over was a big deal.
But it's good to see that even with the reinvigorated podcast, your description skills,
Get a little bit more.
a little bit. The crazy,
crazy
things,
things
on
on
Facebook,
Facebook.
That's it. I have no idea what that podcast was about.
I do remember because you came to me and be like, "Okay, so you're on Facebook a lot." I'm like, "Yeah," and you're like, it's just murder porn." Because you like telling me in my feeds there are just people
that's
being
right.
murdered,
Being like beheaded.
exactly, and
Like
I'm
live, not live.
I got a
videos, but, like,
feeling that's what your
full videos.
friends. I think it's
Yeah.
because your friends that you're liking.
It was really creepy.
And you came to me and was like, Facebook.
I'm a little bit disturbed.
I just have like murders constantly, like people just being beheaded. I'm like, what are you watching? And I think you said this. You're like, somebody was just in a road and two cars just smash into each other, and he was just in the middle and disintegrate. I'm like,
Yeah,
what are you?
yeah.
What is happening?
I remember this. You know what it was? You want to know how that eventually
need some
happened?
water.
It wouldn't be episode 100. It wouldn't be
Just
episode
cover
100
talk.
if you didn't need some water. And I found out why I was getting all this what Mike called murder porn on my Facebook page was because one of my friends from work, who was a ex-soldier, would watch those types of videos, and then he would always forward them to me. So it's not like I was actively searching out those videos. All right, they were being sent to me, and that is the fact. All right, don't you label me as a murder porner.
you stall?
Yeah,
Well, it's
I,
not
did,
really-
I did good, and then you just broke the illusion.
Sorry,
Way to go.
Gotcha.
Anyway, and then very next episode, guess what we're still playing, Mike?
Hold on.
Clash of Clans. We are still playing.
We're
Clash
still
of-
playing
a year
after
and
a
a
year
half
and a half
later.
later. Well, I played it for 4 years.
man.
Good Lord. Oh, and then the Axis and Allies.
Let's take over the world.
So this is the point where we moved houses. The studio was over there, and
Oh,
we
it's
I
good-
mean
it's
we
good
had
radio.
we had a studio, and the fire marshal told us to move the studio. Fun stuff.
Because you have the daycare down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because of the exit.
Um,
We talked about Axis and Allies. We were really playing that. Man, that was 2
we
years
haven't
ago.
played that since then, have we?
Because it takes
Like
forever.
3
I'm
months
fine.
to play.
Finding
Yeah.
people that don't want to just die afterwards.
Well, and then also it's you would have to leave up on this table.
Well, I think we could
And it would
take
be hard
pictures, and I could
We tried that last time.
if we took pictures, I'd clear it off and I'd put it back. I'd do it. I'd do the work. It's not that long.
I'm down. Anyway, we're not gonna play that game. It doesn't matter.
Ow.
A long time ago, I would have been a.
Stormtrooper.
That's when I gave you that quiz, the
Quiz.
Star Wars quiz. That does not seem like that long ago. That really does not seem like that long
Yeah,
ago.
2 years ago. I know, right?
Because I gave you that Star Wars quiz, and I accidentally tested as Princess Leia. Or no, Princess Amidala. Princess Aladama, Alibaba.
Princess Amidala.
Yeah, I accidentally tested as her. I think I still should have been
Oh.
Obi-Wan, but that's neither here nor there.
Home automation.
How do I make a door open for you?
That
I
doesn't
do
seem
remember
like
that.
that long
It really
ago.
does. It was right over there. Well, whatever.
2 years ago. Was it 2 years?
And then
No.
here's our corporate plea, episode 64. Audible, please sponsor us. Like, please,
And then
anyone.
But at that point, we
Please
found out.
sponsor us.
We talk about books,
Yeah.
but we found out
None of
you
us was reading.
like say
Submit.
it. No, you don't have to submit it. They'll take anybody pretty
They'll
much.
take
And you'd be like, hey, go to Audible and type in audible.com/username.
Why are we doing that?
Except for if you live in Missouri.
Except for if you live in Missouri.
Like 3 states.
Is it like called the Tim Clause?
And I should just go to Kansas. I
Yeah.
should just get it in Kansas. But
Get a P.O. box in
that's
Kansas.
some work.
Yeah, true. It's very true.
We love Batman.
We do love Batman. That
we
was a
love
good,
Batman
I
Returns.
I liked that episode. I liked
Yeah,
both
those
of
were good episodes.
We really are alive. Is that the tail end of We Are Alive?
That's
wow,
the
We Are Alive
end
is
of
over.
it. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
2015. This was a year ago.
That seems like longer.
Oh, and then don't talk to your friends about cosplay. This is we reviewed a short video.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Sure. Sure. Why not? What do you want to talk about it? What do you want to say, Michael? First of all, do you remember in high school? And this is for the question for the listeners, not for you. All right. Do you remember in high school, listeners, that group of kids that would always hang out by the theater, and they would be really socially awkward, smell bad, and like sort of laugh at things that were inappropriate, and then they also were band nerds at the same time. They were theater and band nerds. You remember those kids? If you don't, you were those kids.
Okay, but there are different groups of those.
Yeah,
I
I
feel like
agree.
there are some
I
groups
agree.
that are cool and not. Okay,
Agreed.
so like Brass Engine, they are
Yes,
awesome.
That's different.
And that's
That's a
when going into
difference.
Brass Engines, we had
Dealt with these
some
other
of these
people,
other
some
people,
of these-
and so
yeah.
that's why when going into Brass
We
Engines,
were
I'm like, oh my gosh, this
yeah,
is awesome.
This is way different than what I expected.
Way different because I
Yeah.
was worried.
Yes.
Um,
And you know what? I was worried too.
Speaking
It
of
was
that,
not at all what we had thought.
if
so, yeah.
you go to Brass Engine Productions, you'll love them. They're the best. They got some funny stuff coming out. Have you seen their Ghost Dude stuff?
No.
Didn't think I didn't think I'd like it as much, but I really ended up liking it. The best part is, so it's these over the top kind of like paranormal activity, but the cameraman. The best part is Larry is the cameraman, and he's not over the top, and they're kind of faking it and everything else, and he goes through it, and his point of view is the best. It's hilarious and great. Anyways,
I'll have to watch it. It's on Brass Engine, the YouTube channel, correct?
Brass Engine Productions, yeah,
Brass
YouTube channel,
Engine
and yeah, something. Watch the video. We've interviewed them about 1 billion times. It
Very
feels
true.
like.
Very true.
X-Men
X-Men?
Assemble.
What was that over? X-Men?
We had just watched.
What was X-Men Assemble over? X-Men?
Yes, but we
Yeah.
had just watched Days of Future Past.
Yeah,
and
which,
then
by
we
the
came
way,
down and recorded.
Have you
It's
seen
the best one.
It is. So
I have not seen
you
a Top
seen
Apocalypse.
It's not that bad. Not as bad as everyone says it's supposed to be. I heard they got a lot of bad
It got
press at the beginning.
50.
On
It got
Rotten
50%
Tomatoes?
on Rotten Tomatoes, which
Well, what is
compared to
Rotten Tomatoes?
Batman and Robin, I mean not Batman and Robin.
Batman
compared
vs
to,
Superman.
yeah, they
Compared
stuck
to
way
the
too
Super
much in
Friends.
Batman and Superman.
Yes. Well, you know what it was he was like, I want to do everything because
Yes.
this is the last one they're gonna let me do.
Yeah. So it was like
Jimmy
okay,
Olsen dies.
I
We
know,
got
right?
Batman v Superman. What? Doomsday? Sure, throw him in
So
there.
they were
too.
like, "Hey, look at Batman and Superman. What are the two best comics? Okay, the Dark Knight Returns and Superman Dies. Let's just put everything in this movie and not really explain it."
Then we talk about time travel. I am my own grandfather,
which is you've never even seen that movie, have you?
I haven't.
Still,
I still haven't.
golly, that
I need to.
I showed Tasha comes over every couple of months and we'll watch a movie.
I
come
over
over and watch
Comic-Con
a
you guys
movie.
were talking about it. You showed her.
And I showed it to her, and she like for days was like, it definitely when Mikey was down in Springfield, she would come over, and we would watch that, and for days she was just like, it was great. That is, and people that have seen that movie, that is one of their favorite movies. Like we can talk about it for hours.
That's how I felt after watching Inception the first time. I was like, it's so weird.
It's just as much Inception as a mind trip as Inception.
Yeah. And then what should really be the title of our podcast is the title for episode 71, ADD Craziness. What's the description? ADD Craziness. We're not even trying on that anymore.
This is another 10 months.
Oh, we did stop again, didn't we? Yeah.
10
February
months
to December.
And this is the time it took me to tear down that studio and rebuild this studio over here. And once the fire marshal approved, which is exactly this, then actually that ADD Craziness we recorded beforehand
and then
10 months that I posted.
Yeah.
The one I can't figure out where it's at. There was one where we interviewed James.
Oh, we don't have that one on here. You're right.
No, it's here somewhere.
We made fun of his vampire stuff, right?
And I don't know if
I'm sure
we just labeled
it's probably
it
one
weird.
of those weird ones where
It's
it's
just
like we
like
talk
about everything.
we talk on this talking show.
And then since ADD Craziness, we have continued we've taken maybe 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
Last
I'm
week.
very proud of us.
And I know, right?
Comic-Con. That was the week of Comic-Con.
Yeah, the week of Comic-Con.
The Golden Age of board games.
Golden Age of board games. I mean, really
Force
at
Awakens.
70,
oh, man.
we've just hit 30 in a row. Nice.
That's right. We kind of started it up again, too, because we wanted to watch The Force Awakens, and we needed an excuse to record.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, we wanted to...
Well, we had finally gotten over here.
Yeah, true.
I've been having this area has been very nice.
It really has helped. Yeah. Very, very true. And
Then
we talked about Star Wars for a while there. Force Awakens.
Because we do the two before. We wanted to talk about what we thought, and then those are right before.
And then all of a sudden, Mike's back with the whole labeling stuff here. I got a description that's like 3 paragraphs long.
Ooh, yeah.
We talk about it's in episode 77, so many good movies. We talk about all the movies that are going to be coming out in 2016. X-Men Apocalypse, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Ghostbusters. That was right here.
Yeah, I know.
That does not feel like 30 episodes or 20 episodes ago.
I know.
I guess 20 episodes ago. That's not too bad.
Well, it was only 6 months ago.
Yeah. Ghostbusters, ID4. Man, there were a lot of good.
Do you want to know the really sad part?
What?
If we'd have done it every week like we would have started from the very beginning, we'd be on episode 255.
Well, I mean, hey.
Oh.
Listen, for all those haters out there who are like, yeah, you guys suck. You go do a podcast. You go do a podcast for 4 years and tell me how often you got together. And then
so many good movies.
You can suck it. How about that?
And a lot of these haven't. I mean, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay.
Hang on. So many good movies. Then guess what? Guess what's right around the bend? Clash of Clans. Oh my god!
Talk about how
the update sucks. That was the one that Kevin was on.
And then Kevin, because Kevin's really in it, and is Kevin still really in it?
Oh, he loves that game. He is in Boom Beach, which is Supercell, and Clash of Clans, which is also Supercell. He refuses to play the other Supercell game, which is Clash Royale, which is the one that I'm playing the most now. Like Clash Royale, that's everything to me. That's the best game out there right now. But
crazy.
He refuses to play it. And
Crazy,
then
crazy.
immediately after Clash Clans, we'd go into Game of Thrones again. Jon Snow.
Yeah.
What?
And we played a little catch up because we'd done season 1, season 2, and now we're season 5.
No, we did 1 through 3, and then we had to do 4 and 5.
No,
yeah.
we did one on one season, 1 on 2 season. Napalm was just about season 2.
You're right, and then we did 3, 4, and
We went through 3,
Yeah.
4, and 5. We caught up. We haven't talked
Yeah.
about season 6.
I've watched it all now.
I've watched it all too.
We
Maybe
should-
we should do another podcast on that.
Let's start it now. Let's
The
just
funny
make this a
thing
long one.
is, we did 2 of them, and don't flame me. I remember we were so depressed.
Yeah. At the end of that, we were like, why do we
Yeah, because it was just
why do we
like
watch this show?
we're just like, oh yeah. Do
Man.
you remember when that girl,
Oh my
that
gosh.
little
That
girl,
little girl got burned alive in front of her
Oh,
parents.
I wasn't even thinking that. I was like, when
And her
that one guy
parents
just
didn't
wanted to
even
do
stab her?
horrible things to her.
Oh yeah.
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 You
Yeah.
remember that?
Oh my gosh.
Oh god.
You remember?
I'm depressed now.
do
Let's
you remember
okay.
when
Continue
watching
on.
that show killed my soul?
Hey, do you remember that? Do you remember that one group of people that just likes to fillet people alive?
So much so that they made it their house sigil. You remember that? It's good times.
Oh golly.
I will say this: season 6 at least made you feel a little bit better.
Let's talk about that another time.
Another time.
That's the future. That's episode 101.
Then
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Oh, man. That was
Deadpool
good.
so much fun.
But I think that was a weird episode because you guys were tired. I think everyone was
Yeah.
tired and they just came from the movies.
Well, and we had just come through movies. You had seen it before.
At work. I
Yeah.
saw it at work.
I feel like
My long lunch work.
my only complaint about Deadpool movie: not enough fourth wall breaking.
Yes, and then we okay.
I'm joking.
You remember that then. Okay, good.
The Martian, that was a good podcast.
That was a good
I really
podcast.
enjoyed that. Book,
6 months
movie,
late?
and talking about it. Yeah.
But sure.
You guys seen Heat?
The funny thing is I've been listening to some podcasts that I really like and
Not ours.
I can't. No.
Some other podcasts. I've been listening to some other podcasts.
The Grid
I really
Daily. I
like.
think that's I'm pronouncing that right. Or
The Grid Daily.
But I can't listen to anything. They're like, we're going to talk about Ghostbusters. And I'm like, well, I guess can't watch that. Or Civil War, I guess.
You know
can't
what
watch
it is?
that.
You just got to get over spoilers. I'm fine with spoilers.
That-
Like, I don't care.
or you just do everything 6 months late, like The Martian.
True. True. That's good. That's a good point, actually.
Daredevil. This is my
Daredevil.
favorite. One of my favorite
This
episodes.
is the one where, there was a gas
Woo!
leak. We found out, actually, it was carbon dioxide.
It's funny. I had somebody come
From
to
the
me the other
basement.
day. I did not know listen to the podcast. And they're like, so I listened to the podcast.
I'm like, oh no.
And I don't think I'd ever, because I like it a lot. But then I listened to this Daredevil one. Are you okay? Dude, were you on drugs?
Oh man, that's
I was
awesome.
not on drugs.
He was
Well,
not. He was
well,
not.
I was on some medication.
but not like illegal.
Just no, not illegal. More Daredevil and
More
then
Daredevil.
Ghostbusters.
The cars are out to get us.
Jacob, remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
And then
getting
obviously this
very
is
recent
getting
now,
really
yeah,
recent.
yeah.
Planet Comic Con, loved that one.
Batman v Superman. Gosh, a two-parter on Batman v Superman that I must say was probably more even though I was inaccurate in a lot of that information,
That's
probably
pretty
more
entertaining.
entertaining than the movie. I'm not gonna lie.
I actually have seen that now.
Mm-hmm.
Took us 3 days to get through it, and Missy, after day 2, because we watched it, I think it's like 4 hours long. We got
It's
the
a
extended
long
cut.
movie.
I got the extended cut. I'm like, okay, well maybe they cut out some things that made it nope. After
no relevant
on the
material.
third day, Missy's like, you could just watch the rest without me.
On the third day.
And each day
of
we
Batman
watched
v
about an hour
Superman.
20. And we watched an hour 20
Yeah.
the first night, hour 20 the second night, and then she's like, you can finish this without me.
And
I'm
you know,
fine.
like as many
She's like,
things. as,
why are
like-
they mad at each other?
Why? Why are they mad at each other? Nobody knows.
No
That's
one
the problem.
really knows.
Even Superman's mom is like, yeah, I don't know. I figured.
Martha? I guess both moms are Martha. That fixed it. Luckily, both moms are
A
Martha.
mom's name is what.
So the other thing, Microsoft HoloLens. Now we put these; they're on our website, and we go through not BuzzFeed, gosh, Buzzsprout,
AdSense? No.
Buzzsprout,
Buzzsprout.
which goes out to iTunes and it goes to Google and Stitcher and all those. And the majority, 98% of our viewers go through it that way. But we also put this on. We also put everyone on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
And we don't get very many views at all. If we get 10, that's good. This Microsoft HoloLens, it's weird because it's like 10, it's 10, it's 10. Because we normally get, 200 or 300 people.
Yeah.
But on YouTube, we don't get anybody. And then when you get to the HoloLens, it's like, I want to say it's like 70, 80 views. I'm like, what the? I think people are just YouTubing
I think they
it.
wanted, they wanted to see an actual video on Microsoft HoloLens, and they were sorely disappointed. Because what they got instead was an audio recording of two just absolute fools watching that video that they wanted to see on Microsoft HoloLens and being like, "Ooh, look at that! Look at how that looks."
I
listeners.
should actually go through and see, because you can see the metrics of when people just stop watching.
Because man, what were we thinking? First of all, it's good to know that we still make mistakes even this late in our podcast.
I loved it. It's not bad.
A podcast about watching a video seems redonkulous.
Oh,
also,
man.
you know what we still haven't done? We still haven't done our,
78 views.
We still haven't done our. We were gonna do the exact thing I just described, a podcast about.
Oh yeah.
What do they call that?
Commentaries.
Commentary. Yeah.
I want to do a commentary on Dark Knight, the Dark Knight Return. The cartoon,
Gotcha.
which is supposed to be Batman versus Superman, but the good version of it.
I want to do a commentary on Batman v Superman.
We should do
that
that
would be
one.
great.
We should
Get
just
like
do all the
Polly,
Batman
Larry,
ones.
Chuck
But
all together and
yeah.
just dog on Batman v Superman until we're all blue in the face. That'd be fun.
Let's do that. That's something we need to do.
That
soon.
I like.
Then next we get to Brass Engines. That's when we went down. That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
I love those guys.
I actually, and honestly, like we had talked about previously, where I was expecting something different. I was expecting socially awkward, like not creepy.
I
or anything
embrace
like that,
everything,
but just, I'm like,
yeah.
I was expecting something a lot different, and I did not receive that. I received some genuine, awesome people.
Like they are really.
They were really cool. I was way off base there on my preconceived. I was being biased, or no, what do you call it?
Biased.
Okay, biased.
Not only them, then I met Larry, and then I met Mitch, and I'm just like, golly, just every one of them was just very cool. So yeah,
they listen too, so they're gonna be like, oh wow, he thought we were.
I don't
he
know.
thought we were jerks.
Then the next one, 3 words. I like whipped cream.
Yeah, which by the way, thank you for that. That's great because that's a very touching. Serious video.
So I texted him, and I was like, so I was like, 3 words. What's 3 words? Because I don't know what the real 3 words. I'm like, I like whipped cream, and so I texted him, which I normally don't do. And if I show you the text, I'm like, hey, I got a question, and then I said, it's kind of creepy that I just texted you out of the blue. I know you don't really know each other and everything else.
Think you guys
I got a weird question. Got a weird question for you. If I say I was going to name it 3 words, but I didn't want it to make it all creepy, or I didn't want to make light of the thing. And he's like, no, I like it. So I'm like, cool. Then I stick with it and just went with it.
Well, in the video,
they do whip it.
He's not doing whippets. That's when you like.
Well, he said
a drug.
No. Well, aerosol cans or stuff you can get whippets from it, and he actually said in the interview with did you watch the Mitch and Larry interview? He said I think I was getting whippets from it, but
I know like he's doing shots of whipped cream, but he's doing shots of whipped cream immediately after waking up while pulling this can of whipped cream from his bedstand, which is supposed to be refrigerated.
And he says
that's what stuck with me.
In that interview, he's like, "No, it's fine. You can do it."
Okay.
Yeah, but he's like, "I think
Maybe
I was
I'm
getting
just
whippets,
used to
but I know it's." He's like, "It's much better."
Yeah. Oh yeah,
but
yeah,
you can do it.
You know.
Then we got Ming Chen.
Ming Chen, the coolest guy.
He was really cool
on the face of the planet. He was a blast.
He was a blast.
And then
the review
Comic-Con
with Charles Fort. Love that guy, Chuck.
Chucky
did 2
himself.
episodes of that, and then the last 3
were with
Andrew E.
Dr.
Wilson, Dr. Oddworld. And those were some very
And
cool
Polly.
ones.
Polly was there too.
Polly too, yes.
We just forgot about Polly.
Polly's kind of a staple. Been
No,
with us from the
you
very beginning.
can't forget
Episode
about
4?
Polly. Episode 4, yeah.
Maybe.
And
I
then
don't know.
Polly's been on here way more than Larry too. I feel like Larry was there in the beginning, and then he was just like, "I hate you guys." So Larry, if you're listening, which I know you're not, you're a jerk.
But yeah,
so-
yeah. Yeah,
That's
nah,
how
I didn't say that.
No, it doesn't. No, I'm sorry, Larry. I love you.
You're
the
awesome,
best.
Larry. I do miss those guys. I wish they could come over more.
He's been on vacation for like
T-ball is over. Yeah, I know. He's in.
nuts. Right?
Yeah,
he was
so
in Colorado, and then he went down to New Mexico, or something like that.
I was gonna say,
Anyway,
yeah, T-ball's
yeah,
over,
well.
so we can get back. There's probably an
To
after
Mondays?
after air.
Yeah, whatever.
But we can get together on
So
Mondays
I got this
now.
rash. I don't know if you can see it or not. Oh, it was after air conversation.
But it's been very cool.
It's been 4 years. It's been,
4.5 years. Yes.
you know what? It's been a roller coaster of ups and downs that I have had.
We've been to 4 Planet Comic Cons.
True.
We've had a lot of listeners. We don't get a lot of feedback, but
No,
I
but we
get
do have a lot of listeners.
it seems like all the feedback I get is in person, or
Yeah.
a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
Like, I have someone that told me, like, I know somebody. She's like, my husband listens to you.
She's like, I don't get it.
I don't get it. I'm like,
That's what I get too.
I don't get it.
That's what I get
But
a lot of.
he listens to you, and I don't know. I don't know her husband.
You know what else I get a lot of? It seems like all the feedback I receive is in
Brandy
hate
Gassman's
speech.
husband. There you go. If you hear.
hate speech
Hate
burned into
speech.
my lawn with gasoline and fire. Do you not get that?
Most of it's from Dave.
Okay, well, yeah, it's true. Just hate speech burned into my lawn. No. I do. It does feel like the most feedback I get is in person.
Because every once in a while we'll get something
Mainly
on.
because I'm constantly hounding people to listen.
Yeah, I'll get something from comments at username nerd, or somebody will get something on the. They'll fill out a form on the website, and I'm like, "Who is this?" And then I figured out, oh, that's Dave. It's always Dave.
Yeah. I asked him.
Dave,
I
our
was
Dave
like,
said, yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, hey, did you leave a comment about me making fun of something, whatever? I don't know. Whatever.
No,
I
it
leave
was
that comment,
Star
he was like-
Wars.
He was like, no. I was like, are you sure? He's like, no, yeah, you've already talked to me about this and you forgot. I'm like, really? And he goes, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, good.
The other day he's like, and I got it one. He was like, I regret.
That's Star Wars.
Star Wars. He was
He
like,
was pissed.
I know. He was like, I wasn't gonna
I
listen
mean,
to
he
it,
was so
and then I
mad.
did, and I totally regret every second of it.
I mean, I can't say the thing with Dave is he wants to have his say in it as well. So he was listening to that podcast. From what I understand,
just
from what he was telling
yelling.
me. Yeah, and he was like, "No, this is because he has his opinion too. Everyone has their own opinion, but
Right,
he's
right.
like, he's like,
You know what he could
and it
do?
frustrates him.
You know what he could do? He can call,
Or
and we'll put it on air.
yeah, that's a
Tell him
brilliant
that.
idea. I'm gonna tell him.
Um,
We're just gonna get nasty messages from Dave. Welcome to the
This
Hate
is-
Dave podcast.
this is our
the
Dave
Hate
segment.
pod.
It's the
this is
Dave
our
segment.
where he just
Um,
bashes. That'd be great. Yeah.
But it has been so much fun. We've spun up all kinds of videos because of it, and all kinds of people. We've had all kinds of other podcasts that are going to be on. We're now getting tons of guests on, and it's just been a blast. So I want to thank all you listeners out there. It's been a blast, and I just love going back and listening and be like, it's like a little time
Yeah,
capsule.
the biggest thing is like it was a chance to express the things that I cared about.
Yes.
I don't give a crap if anyone's listening.
Yes.
I get to say it, and that's awesome.
And
You know
not
what I
only
mean?
that, we can go back and listen to segments. We can listen to
Yeah.
hours before we went to saw Force Awakens.
Yeah,
Or, hey, did you hear the news today?
Mhm.
Disney, there want to be more Star Wars. I mean, we have
That was
what
a-
our feelings were that day.
That was such a you're right, because that was such a monumental thing. It's like, oh man, I never thought there would be more Star Wars.
And you know what?
movies.
I've
Never.
completely forgot about We're Alive, but now I'm
Mhm.
like, I can remember what I thought before the end. And
I also
oh, God.
completely forgot about the fear of a world without chickens.
chickens.
And now I can remember it vividly.
I never forget the fear without chickens.
But yeah, it has definitely been a blast, and I'll tell you, we couldn't have done it without you, the listeners. That's not true. We could have.
We could.
And we did, but
We absolutely.
but we wouldn't have wanted to. All right, that's the
Well,
truth.
actually, I'm totally fine.
Yeah, I'm fine
no,
with it too,
no,
yeah,
no.
but,
That's
you
all
know.
right.
Happy 100.
But the whole point of this show is we're not your normal what I think, not to rag on Dave again, but there are some people out there that like
Well,
a
there are
structured show.
Yeah, they're very
but
structured
we are not.
shows.
We're kind of at a bar.
Yeah,
if
you
not to
know.
steal from the Church of Laszlo, but we're at a bar just talking, a very nerdy bar.
Yeah, yeah,
Very nerdy
I mean,
bar.
they don't serve alcohol here.
No, they don't serve alcohol at
'Cause,
all. And
but
we're
yeah,
basically
yeah.
playing Clash of Clans and Minecraft. That's it. That's
know
all
what
we
it
do and
reminds
talk
me
about zombies.
of his in what's that show, IT Crowd,
Yes.
when they go to that like nerd thing and what's his face orders a beer and everyone looks at Moss like, and he's like, it's okay, get him a beer. That's what it reminds me of.
that's
That
right.
sort of bar.
Yes.
It's like,
Oh my gosh.
there's no alcohol here, but you know, it's a
Golly, I've
nerdy bar.
forgotten about that show.
Anyway, what are we at? We must be.
We're at a
way long.
110, so we'll
Woo,
cut
this
this
ain't
off.
no 27-minute episode like earlier.
Anyways,
Um,
we can't say enough. Thank you.
Why don't you, real fast to wrap up, why don't you plug the YouTube channel? And all that
YouTube
jazz?
channels? We have username Nerd News, username Nerd Comics, username Games, and YouTube loves to change. Like, did you mean this? And you didn't. It's
Yeah.
all one word.
Whenever you type in username
Or
nerd,
if you just type username Nerd, you can find the 4 channels.
yes,
And you
I
can
don't
also
know
find my Lego
what
one.
Username nerd 666 is.
I know,
haven't
right?
clicked on it.
No, I
but
think
it
it's
always comes
Oh
up.
yeah, username.
and it is weird.
It's not username Nerd.
That's right.
It's
It's
username
username
666.
I don't know what that is.
It has to deal with PewDiePie, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Which is the #1 YouTuber, so it makes
Yeah,
sense that
okay,
he's
that makes
pushed to
sense.
the
It's
top
out
or
there.
whatever else.
Sure,
But,
sure.
um,
But that's not us.
but you can go to that. Everything is username Nerd. You can go to
Mhm.
Twitter. You can go to Tumblr. You can go to
Facebook.
Instagram. We're on it all,
I still
except for
haven't gotten
Friendster.
We don't have Friendster. We do have MySpace.
I love Twitter and I love Facebook. We
Mhm.
pretty much keep with those two. So like the Facebook page, and we are going to be at CantCon next weekend. It's going to be a blast. I'm sorry, not next weekend.
When is this
Tomorrow?
going up? When is it going up?
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then we're also going to be at Kansas City Comic-Con coming up. And we have some great guests coming on. I'm not going to tell you who they are because I'm
That'll spoil the
90% sure that they're going to be on. And what else?
Man, I don't know.
913
yes.
717
Nerd.
Nerd.
You're not sure.
Yeah, 717 Nerd.
Sure, give it a call. See what happens.
717 Nerd.
You know what? Maybe you'll get us. Maybe
913 717 Nerd. I was
there you
pretty
go.
sure.
You will get us.
And you comments at username Nerd. Go to our website. Blah 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 blah.
Let us know what
By
you want to
100,
hear.
You should know.
Man, by 100, if you guys don't like the show, let us know. But by 100, if you're still listening, something's wrong with you. if you
Also,
don't like
do
the
one
show.
other thing for me. We're making some comic summary videos. Basically,
Yes.
they're really short videos, 5 minutes covering a whole comic, but it gives you the gist. So you could go through like years of comics.
I know
We don't
it's
have that much up yet,
I know it's
but
been a long
you can go
time
to real
since
quick.
the beginning of the episode, but do you remember we talked about this?
Did we talk about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Or did
It's
we,
okay.
I thought we talked about it off air.
We did, and then you brought it up at the
Eh,
beginning.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's worth plugging again. We should probably wrap it up, though, because it's like 2 hours now. Any final words? Do you want to take us out on our catchphrase?
I don't know. This is kind of
Nostalgic. Yeah, I
feel
don't want
nostalgic.
to. I don't want it to end.
Stay nerdy.
You're like, that's it. Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you what. How about this?
This is your last episode?
I don't
We're killing
know.
you off?
I don't know. We were talking a little bit beforehand because, yeah, I'm really having a lot of trouble adjusting to this new job and my new schedule, which I know sounds crazy to you, mister. I have 1,000 things going on in my life
No,
and
not at
kids and a
all.
wife and everything else.
I understand because
I'm just like,
there's
it's,
sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't put a video out this week or done something, and I'm just like, oh. But I understand. I get it.
But so moving forward, I don't know what exactly is going to happen. I do know that.
Now you're gonna say it on there.
Should we? I don't know. Well,
Well,
you're
no.
the one who brought it up. You said, "Is this your last episode? We're killing you off." So Chuck is definitely going to be a part of
Definitely.
whatever's happening moving forward. I'll still be here. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like they're really
You're
killing
2
me
weeks.
off.
You have 2 weeks.
But what I imagine is Chuck would take the main place, and I'll come on whenever I can make it. Wow. Is that not okay?
Wow. No, that's okay.
Should I not? Let's hold off. You can edit this out.
Nope. Too late.
Edit it out. If there's one catchphrase we have here on Username Nerd, it's
I
stay
won't
nerdy,
be able to say.
and I won't edit it out.
I won't be able to say with me always.
Yeah, you just have to say with me sometimes, or just never here.
Anyways,
Anyway,
you say it.
Stay nerdy.
Okay, stop. Don't go to the next YouTube video or channel or skip or don't do anything. Real quick, 5 seconds. We have 3 different channels. Please subscribe to them. Username Nerd News, Username Nerd Comics, Username Nerd Games. We have separated them out into 3 ones. Choose all of them or just one to subscribe to. You'd love it. I promise you, we'll give you great content. It'll show up in your feed. You'll love it. Just real quick click. It doesn't take but a few seconds. You'd be awesome. Thank you.